Right, a really quick one. TRT. We have rules. We have rules. No, we don't have rules. We have principles. Rules are fixed. You should never make closed statements about science because science changes. What we do know is about biology, biochemistry, physiology, pharmacology, all the ologies, and we try and use science and research to back up what we already know. We test our hypotheses to see if they are valid. So evidence, it's interesting because we should all practice evidence-based medicine. But when the strength of that evidence is weak, and when it comes to testosterone replacement therapy, it's really weak. Because it's actually really hard to have statistically significant evidence regarding TRT. What's best, what's not best? Because protocols differ, treatments differ. We are all individuals. We are all unique. So one of the issues with evidence is variables. So there are so many variables that need to be taken into consideration that you'll find a cohort of guys thinking one thing, a cohort of guys thinking something else. And both will have very, very strong beliefs. You can't do that in medicine. It doesn't apply. It doesn't apply to the body, unfortunately. So principles. You should have principles, not fixed beliefs. Testosterone. If you have low testosterone, you should all be on testosterone. No. Number one, you should look at reversible causes. Number two, there may be something else that you can do. There could be an issue with your SHBG, which may need addressing and reversing those reversible causes. And if you can't find a reversible cause for a raised SHBG, then you can look to pharmacology to assist you in increasing your bioavailable androgen levels. So here at the Men's Health Clinic, we have misterolone to do that. HCG. Everybody should have HCG. Now, I believe that obviously HCG is integral to hormone optimization. But does this apply to absolutely everybody? And the answer to that is no. Sometimes HCG is not tolerated despite our best efforts to optimize estrogen. We do struggle sometimes. I've got a guy actually who's had a bilateral orchidectomy who does not tolerate the normal dose of HCG that we would prescribe. So, presumably because the HCG is not being mopped up by the testes, because he has no testes. So we have to think outside the box and look to pregnenolone, DHEA, etc. And look to misterolone as well, because that would seem like a sensible option for him, and giving him some DHT. So you have to adapt your principles according to the patient that's sat in front of you. Never prescribe an AI, always prescribe an AI. There's an absurdity to those statements. The decision to prescribe an aromatase inhibitor should be based on the person sat in front of you, their need for an aromatase inhibitor. And that need can change. So hopefully, once they've addressed their lifestyle issues that may be contributing to their propensity to aromatization, they can come off of an aromatase inhibitor if they need one in the first place. Here at the Men's Health Clinic, we are constantly looking to less is more. That does not mean that you should be disappointed. We are trying to mimic natural physiology and optimize your melandrin levels for long-term physical and psychological health. So there are so many things, so many variables, so many aspects of testosterone replacement therapy that need to be taken into consideration when you design a protocol, when you review the bloods, And that process of optimization is not a destination. And I think that's something that a lot of people miss. You know, there is a journey involved, and that journey takes hard work sometimes. And you should not be afraid of hard work. You should be looking forward to hard work. Okay. So when it comes to, oh, I don't feel very good. Okay, well, we do need a stable base to work from. So one can only make an informed decision about what's best in your interests once we have a degree of stability. So we do try to minimize changing variables, because we want to know if changing one variable has had a positive or negative outcome. Now, is that true of every situation? So again, it's a principle. I've got a guy who has anejaculation from starting testosterone replacement therapy. Hello, Dexter. You see, hello, Dex. And my principle is replace testosterone and replace HCG. Less is more. Now, does that apply to him? Now, presumably, part of his anejaculation is not only testicular atrophy, but also because of prostatic issues. So, we have added in misterolone from the start. It's part of his starting protocol. So testosterone and cypionate, HCG, and misterolone. So less is more, but not in his case. So when you apply fixed beliefs, fixed ideation, it makes a mockery of science. And the body does not work like that. You have to assess the patient. You have to determine what is best for that patient that's sat in front of you. And you can't have fixed beliefs. Now, that's not something that you can do online. So I insist on a face-to-face consultation for a number of reasons. But it's essentially so that I'm confident that I'm acting in your best interests. It's also to demonstrate that we are showing due diligence and not prescribing TRT inappropriately. This is a lifelong therapy. This is involved. This is not something that you should take on. It should not be lighthearted. It should not be considered, oh, should I go on TRT? No. You should go on TRT if you have a confirmed deficiency, if you have addressed all reversible causes, including obvious ones, lifestyle, nutrition, exercise. This is not a cure. This is hopefully normalization, so you can take the necessary steps to take that next step forwards in your life. That's simply what it's about. It's not about big muscles. Hello, there's Maddie now. Hello, Maddie. It's not about big muscles. It's not about being a stallion. It's not about this heightened, optimized state that some people are chasing. No, it's simply about normalization and working with your body, maintaining numbers within normal physiological parameters. Again, that's a principle. So somebody with high SHBG will have or need a high dose of testosterone, and that will likely result in a high total testosterone, a supraphysiological testosterone. So again, he needs to have a high dose and a high testosterone because of his high SHBG. So when I talk about keeping guys within normal physiological parameters, we're really talking about the bioavailable male androgen levels. We're not talking about total testosterone, because obviously that's only a very small part of the picture. It is an important part of the picture, but it is not the be-all and end-all, obviously. So, testosterone replacement therapy. Rules or principles? Principles. Long-term physical and psychological health. Normality. Simples.